important basics we are doing. Now look at this. This is this figure, very important. Now this is a rod. Okay, this is massless rod, massless strings, massless rod. We take, and how many forces are applied on this rod? Two, at point A and at point B. What is translational? Do we have translational motion? Only two kinds of motion we are going to study. Translation means this rod is all the particles will move with constant velocity in a certain direction. So yes, this rod will come down, like this and like here, because both the forces are downward. So of course this rod will be moving in the downward direction. Yes. So from here to here, then here, then here, and then here, and then here, and then. So what is translational motion? So we have the net forces. So what is the net forces? So net force. So only two things you need to understand: that this direction is positive x, so this is positive f, and if it is upward, it is again positive f, and if it is downward, it is minus f, and if it is this direction, this is again minus f. Okay. So this is about translational motion. And about rotational motion, you have only two possibilities. One is this, which is plus theta, and this is minus theta. I told you that this is plus tau, and this is minus tau. Okay, so we have already discussed it. So only two possibilities. If it is anti-clockwise, positive. If it is clockwise, negative. Okay, so these are the only two things that you need to see. Now translation motion, this f is positive, this f is also positive. So, negative, both are negative. Okay, so minus f, minus f. So the net force here is, in this case, is minus 2f. That is your net force. So there will be translation motion. What about rotational motion? What about rotational motion? So rotational motion will be there or not? See, at all the points. So yes. How many? See, at all the points you have to calculate the torque, because torque is equals to R cross F. Okay. So at A you are applying the force, but you need to. So okay, you know the force, but from where you will be taking the moment. Means where will be your axis of rotation? So this is the position of means R, where you will be taking the position. So this is the about C. We will be taking the moment about C, means the rotation of axis is passing through this C point. So from this C, draw R. This is your R. So student, this is the only thing you need to do. So first of all, find R. Where is your R? This is the axis of rotation. You have taken C and A. Okay, so this is the point of application force. So this is your position vector of the point where force is applied from the origin. Okay, now this is the direction of R. Now tell me, R cross F. Yes, so this R, this F. So this is the direction that we draw here. So which direction is this? This is this direction. Yes, this direction. Is it clockwise or anti-clockwise? This is 9 o'clock. This is 6 o'clock. So coming 9 from 6. So this is anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise is this anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise we take as positive, and this clockwise we take as negative. So this is this direction is what is it? Positive or negative?
Positive.
9 to 6 is positive, anti-clockwise. And what about this direction now? Where is your R, students, in this case? So starting from origin and joining to the point of application of the force, this is your R. So this is your R here in this case. Okay. So from R cross F. Yes. So what angle you will have? R cross F. So this is
minus theta.
Minus, right? This is negative. And theta is 90 degree. Here also it is plus 90 and here it is minus 90. So what will be the, so only these special cases we'll be doing in numericals. Only these simple cases where theta is equals to 90 degrees. So I told you that here the tau will be equals to simply RF. So the angle is 90 degrees, so plus RF. We have already done this, okay? And here the tau will be simply equals to minus RF. So you can see that both are equal and opposite. So plus RF minus RF. So net will be 0. So net torque will be 0. So this torque is of course along the z-axis. If you are taking R and F in the xy plane, this put your pen on tip of the pen at A perpendicular to the plane. So that is your axis of rotation. At C, we were considering it at C. Okay. So here the angle between this angle is 90 degrees. So tau is equals to plus RF here and tau is equals to minus RF here. So there is no rotational motion. Equal and opposite torque. So now let us look at this case. What is the, will there be any translational motion? Yes, this is negative F, downward direction, and this is positive F. So equal and opposite forces. So net force along Y direction is 0 here, plus F minus F. Yes, cancel out each other. So we have translational equilibrium. Okay. And what about rotational equilibrium? Will there be rotational equilibrium or not? Let us find out. What is sum of all the tau? So of course it is an xy plane, so the tau will be in along the z-axis. So what is the angle here? Let us find out. So this is the origin. Axis of rotation will be passing through this point, and now this is the point of application of force. So this is my R. So this R will go in this direction. So R to F. So this is the axis of rotation, right? So this angle is positive theta. So tau here is equals to 90 degrees. Sin theta is, so simply tau is equals to RF. Okay. Now what about here? This R, what is the direction of R? This is the direction of R, and this is R cross F. So R to F. This angle is minus theta, is minus 90 degree. So minus 90, tau is equals to minus RF. So magnitude of even this is 0, and magnitude also you can see the magnitude is plus RF minus RF, and that's equals to 0. So we are concerned about the magnitude. Is this clear, students? So there is rotational equilibrium.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, sorry. Yes, this is positive and this is also positive, right? Both are positive. So this is also plus RF. So this is also plus RF. So plus RF plus RF. This is not 0. This is plus 2 RF. Okay. So there will be translational equilibrium, but but this rod will rotate with the torque acting on it 2 RF. So this rod will rotate. This along this axis of rotation, it will rotate in this direction. Yes. Yes, what you were asking? Same thing you
Sir,
want?
I'm saying this only.
This
yes,
only.
sir.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, you were right. So students, look, this is plus theta. Yes. Anti-clockwise. Here also it is anti-clockwise. So now my only purpose of teaching you that, have you understood how we have drawn these movements? These movements. Yes. And how
Yes,
to
sir.
write at positive and
Yes, sir.
negative mass. This was the there was little bit confusion in the last lecture regarding this. Okay. Now let us do some more questions based on this. So we have another figure. So students, look here. I have this is your. You can assume this as ground. This is your ground. Okay. This is the top of the table. Also, you can say this is top of the table, and I have balanced it. Okay. I have balanced it. This is what do I call this? Yes, this fulcrum.
Sir.
Okay. What do I call it? What do I call this point? Where this support, this is your support, where the support is touching this rod. What do I call this point?
Fulcrum.
And what do I call this object?
Support.
Support. So support is this, and this is your this dot here is your fulcrum. So fulcrum is a point. Sure. Yes. Page 160, second column, first line. The point is called the fulcrum. Okay. So O is the fulcrum here, and this is the support. So this rod is in equilibrium, students. This rod is in equilibrium. Means its state is not changing. If it is at rest, it will remain at rest. So how can it be in equilibrium? So if it is in equilibrium, it means we from the both sides we need to have equilibrium. We need to have translational equilibrium, and we need to have a rotational equilibrium. So what is the condition for translational equilibrium? It means the sum of forces along the x-axis is 0, sum of the force along the y-axis is 0, and sum of the forces along z-axis is equals to 0. Okay. And rotational equilibrium, we need tau is equals to 0. So along means along x-axis, along y-axis, and along z-axis also is equals to 0. But if this is suppose xy plane, so I will have tau only in along the z-axis only. So if it is so these are the three things only I am going to take, this and this. Now if it is in translational equilibrium, if it is in a translational equilibrium, so students, you just have to tell me the forces along the x-axis is the sum will be 0, and forces along the y-axis will also be 0. Okay. Now tell me, what are forces you have along x-axis? How many forces do you have in this figure? This is the first force F1. See how this force F1, I have put a load over here. Okay. And I want, and here I'm putting the efforts. Okay. I'm pressing this point B of the lever, and this load I'm completely balancing. This is just like seesaw you have, means the two children sitting at both the places, and it is in equilibrium. So of course, due to the weight is acting downwards, so this is the load. So this F1 is actually, the load has mass, suppose M. So this load has mass M that I have placed over here. This is mass M. I want to pick this up. So, but of course the load is applying the force downward, that is equals to weight of the load, and that is equals to mg. So this is the first force acting on this rod. So I'm finding the forces on the, what do you call it, rod, massless rod, forces on the rod. So forces on the rod, how many forces are there on the rod? First, F1, that is equal to weight of the load, that is mg, downward, right? So that's now what is another force? See, this is the reaction. Yes, normal force. This rod is applying the force on this support, and this support is according to Newton's third law, it is applying the force R in this direction. What I am studying, There's force acting downward. There's a force by the rod. Am I studying the forces by rod? Forces by the rod. So forces by the rod is this. This means you can say the weight of the rod. Okay. This is the weight of rod. This is the force by the rod, which is on the support. But I'm not studying this force. I'm only studying the forces which are applied on the rod, not by the forces which are applied by the rod. So if I consider both these forces, then they will cancel out each other. So that's according to Newton's third law. They are equal and opposite. So students, just be careful when you are studying physics. Understand, you are means writing the forces here on the rod. Okay. So this is the force applied, this reaction force, the force applied by the rod. On the rod, on the rod. Who is applying this force? Who is applying this F1? F1 by load. Yes. This force F1 is due to load. This F1 is actually your Fg. This your F1 is actually your Fg. Gravitational force. That is the weight of the body. That's gravitational force. Force applied by the earth. Okay. And who is applying this force? R. R is applied. So this force is by earth. Okay. Who is applying this R? Yes. This reaction R, who is applying it? This reaction apply. Who is putting this means who is applying this force on the road? This is by the
Support.
Yes, this is by the support. Now the third point. Who is applying this force? F2. Yes. By our effort. We are pressing it down. So there's some. So this is we are putting the efforts over here. So that there's some human or some machine or somebody is there to put the efforts. Okay. So support by human also you can say, if there is human effort. Okay. So these are the only three forces which are acting, forces acting on the road. So F1, which is your Fg, which is the weight of the load. So here there is no load, but I'm just pressing it, my effort. Okay. So due to all these three forces, we will have either they are Fx or Fy. So which one of them is along the x-axis? No one is along the x-axis. All three of them. This support is force upward. This human effort, this is downward. So all the forces are upward or downward. So this is zero. So there is no force along the x-axis, right? So this equation is of no use. No use of equation. Okay. What about this equation? Fxy. All the three forces are along the y-axis. So this F1 is downward. So we'll take this minus F1. This R is upward. So we will take this plus R. And this F2 is downward. So I will take it minus F2. And that is equals to 0. So this is what is the sum of all the force along the y-axis. Is this clear, students? And I can further write it as, yes, take F1 and F2 on other side. So you'll get F1 plus F2 is equals to R. Okay. So this is what we need to do. Now, as the rod is in, so when it is in translation, rotational equilibrium, we call it mechanical equilibrium. Complete equilibrium. Okay. If there is only translation equilibrium, this is partial equilibrium. If there is only rotational equilibrium, this is partial equilibrium. But we have total equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium, or we can say it is in equilibrium, means translational equilibrium as well as rotational. Now, what are the conditions for rotational equilibrium? I told you that there will only be forces along the torque will along the z-axis only. So you can either write z or only write torque. That's the same meaning. Now, which one of them is clockwise and anti-clockwise? So the first one, F1. So let us write. This is where is your F1? This is let us write them one by one. This is your F1. Good. Now where is your R? This is your O. Okay. So where is your R? So this is your point of application of force. This is the from take the moment about O. So see, student, this is our choice. You can even take the moments about A also. You can take the moments about O also. You can take the moments about this point, this point, this point, this point. You can take the origin at any of these points. That is moment along any of this moment about any of these points on the road. It is not going to differ the answers. We'll do it in some questions today. Okay. So this is zero and means this is origin. So origin to this. So this is my R. This is my R. Is this clear? And what is the direction of this R? This is the direction of this R. So this is 90 degree, and what is it? This R cross F. So what direction is it? This is anti-clockwise. So this is positive. So the talk here is simply, what is this R? This R is D1. I have taken this distance D1. So this is D1. So talk here is simply plus. So this is plus sign plus D1 F. As simple as that. D1 F1. Okay. Now let us take the second force. Where is your second force? This is R support. Now you cannot change the origin. So you or miss the where you have taking the moments about the axis. So you cannot take the axis. So you have taken the axis at this point O. So now what is this? This R is also here O. So this is R here. So students, in this case, tell me what is your R? This is R, capital R. This is your reaction force. Okay. This is your force. Now what is small r? Means the distance in this case. Yes. What is small r in this case? See, this is your point of application of force. This is origin. So the distance between axis and the point of application of force is 0. So r is equals to 0 here. So if r is equals to 0, so tau will also be 0. Yes. Tau is r cross f. R is 0 here. So r cross f. Right. So r is 0 here. F is, we have the F. F is R. Okay. F is R, this force. So the torque is this clear? Now let us take the third force. That is F2. So torque due to R is 0. So first case, second case, and now the third force. Third force. So torque due to this F2. So what is the direction of F2? This is the direction of F2. And what is the direction of R? So from O, so this is your F3, and this is where your R is. That is D2. This is the direction of R, right? So this is your R, this is your F3. So what is the direction? This is this direction. What is it? Clockwise. So this direction is negative. So tau here is D2. Yes. R cross R into F. Sine is 90 degree and this is negative. So sine 90 minus, we have already discussed it many times. So this is minus D2, that is your R. This distance is your R into F3. So D2, F3. So here, this rotational equilibrium. So the sum of all the torque will be 0. Yes. So rotational equilibrium means tau is equals to 0. So what is the torque here? D1 F1 plus this torque is already 0 due to R, and this is minus D2 F. This is not 3, this is 2. Students, why don't you speak? Use D2F2. Help me out if there is anything wrong. So that's 0. So what do I get it from here? D1F1 is equals to D2F2. Okay? So that condition is known as, what do you call this condition? This principle of moments. What do we call this equation? Principle of moments. Okay? And from this equation, we can rewrite this equation as mechanical advantage. What is mechanical advantage? That is F1 upon F2 is equals to D1 upon D2. So F1, bring F2 this side and take D1 that side. So that is D2 by D1. Okay? So that's the mechanical advantage and that's the principle of moment. Let us write them again. So what is given over here? Given load at A. Load at A. There is some mass M you have placed at A. And this F1 will definitely be the weight and that is equals to mg. Okay. Load at A. So due to it, there is the weight and that is the force F1. Now you are putting efforts over here. So this rod is in equilibrium. That is given to you. Rod is in mechanical equilibrium. No movement. Rest. Rod at rest. Mechanical equilibrium means sum of the forces equals to 0. Translational equilibrium and sum of torque is also 0. Rotational equilibrium. This all is given to us. So load at A is F1. Load at not load, effort at B. Effort at B. So we have a load over here. This load we have placed whose mass is M. Okay. And here we are putting the efforts to pick this load up. Okay. So efforts at B. So effort at B, force F2 is there. Okay. Now the third thing is that is given to us is the reaction force. So we have this support over here. Okay. So that's our reaction force. So now what we have just written the principle, that we have derived the principle of moments of lever. Students, see this thing. This is load. So this rod is divided in two parts by this support. One is this part towards the load and second one is towards the effort. So the part which is towards the load, we call it load arm. And the part which is towards the effort, we call it effort arm. Okay. So what is principle of moments of lever? It is very simple. Load multiply load arm. Okay. Load multiply load arm. And that is equals to effort multiply effort arm. It is as simple as that. Okay. And we can rewrite it in form of symbols. Load is your force, that is F1. What is lever arm? In that side, D1. And that is equals to efforts, that is your F2. And effort arm, that is your D2. So that's your principle of moments of lever that we just derived. And what is mechanical equilibrium? Oh, sorry, mechanical advantage. So mechanical advantage, we write it as MA also. So what is this? So bring this, so MA is equals to, what do you want, students? You want to find the ratio, which means I want F1, F2 will, should be as lesser as possible. Okay. So it's the ratio that is F1 divided by F2 is equals to D2 divided by D1. So I want this, I want to pick more and more load. So more load I want to pick. So I want this F1 to be to pick more load. But this is this F2, the effort that you are putting is fixed. You cannot put more effort. This is fixed. And this you want to pick more load, so F1 will increase, but F2 is fixed. So what you need to do here, because this number is increasing and you want to balance it out, so what you will do, students, this number is increasing, so you want this to increase. So how can you decrease, how can you increase this side also? Increasing D2, decreasing D1. Yes. Increasing D2 and decreasing D1. So if we have this condition, so then only it is favorable to use the lever. So MA should be greater than 1, means F1 you want, see why you using this lever, you want to use this lever so that you need to apply lesser force. You can pick this load vertically also. If you want to pick this load vertically, you have to apply the force F1 in the vertical direction. But I cannot apply that much of force. This is suppose 1000 Newton, whereas I can apply only 100 Newton force, but still I want to pick it up. So that's why I need this lever. Okay. So I want to pick this 1000 with this 100. Okay. So how can I do this? This 1000 Newton I want to pick with 100. So this figure is, this F1 is, I want to pick this 100 kg. If this is 100 kg, so 100 kg multiplied 10 acceleration due to gravity. So you can take it 9.8 or 10. So that is equals to 1000 Newton. So I want to pick 100 kg load. Okay. But I can apply the efforts only 100 Newtons. So 100 Newtons. But still I want to balance it out. So in which ratio I have to divide D1 and D2? So this is supposed to be, of course, if this is X, this is 10X. Then only it will be 1000X is equal to 1000X. So if this is 10 times. So if D1 is, if the total length is 11 meters, suppose. So if the total length is 11 meter, so I want this as 1 meter and this as 10 meters. So this is 11 meter. So this is 1 meter. And this side is 10 meters. This 1 meter. Total length is 11 meters. So I'm applying the force. Means I'm picking this load, which has 100 kg mass. And I'm still, so how much mass I have placed over here? If you are putting it, if you want to place mass only 100 Newton, so just 10 kg. So see, 10 kg is balancing out 100 kg. See the principle of moment of lever. See the power of the lever, the application of the lever. Means so where you are putting this support, it matters. Okay. So you will get the mechanical advantage. Means you want to apply less efforts. So mechanical advantage you want is, you want the what you want. What is the advantage that you want? You want. So what is the advantage that you want? You want mechanical advantage. So why you are using lever? You are using lever so that your this F1 is greater than F2. You want to pick more load with less efforts. So F1 is greater than F2. This is what you want. So it means the mechanical advantage, which is equals to F1 upon F2. So you want this to be greater. So this mechanical advantage will be is supposed to be greater than 1. So then only, if it is greater than 1, then only less efforts. Okay. So this is what you want, mechanical advantage, this F1 to be greater and F2 to be smaller, so that this is greater than 1. So what is the mechanical advantage here in this case? What was the mechanical advantage in this case? So mechanical advantage was F2 upon F1. So this is your F2, F1 upon F2, F1 upon F2, sorry. So F1 was 1000 Newton and F2 was 100 Newton. So the answer is cancelling it out, and you get mechanical advantage is equals to 10. So it has no units. This is a ratio. No, Newton cancel out. So this 10. So 10 times. What does this mean? Mechanical advantage is 10. It means you are picking 10 times the load that you are putting as effort.